Okay, YouTube analytics say I need to stop waffling at the start of these videos. Hello gamers of glitches, welcome to the penultimate part of my Pokemon Crystal badge quest. At the end of my last episode, I explained how this hunt would be for Cyndaquil, and that is still the case. But this hunt will be a very unique one. Unlike Totodile and Chikorita, which were standard full odds soft resets, this hunt will make use of a shiny hunting method exclusive to Generation 2. The Shiny Gene Egg method, or something like that. It doesn't have an official name. Now, there's a lot that goes into this method, so I'll leave a link to the BlueMoonFalls website if you're curious about all the details, and also to see if this method will work for the Pokemon that you want. But basically, by breeding a shiny Pokemon or shiny gene Pokemon with another Pokemon in the same egg group, you have an increased chance of hatching a shiny Pokemon. Kind of similar to the Masuda method that we would later see in Generation 4. However, the odds for the shiny gene method are much more generous than the Masuda method, being as high as 1 in 256 or as low as 1 in 64, the same odds as the odd egg. These 1 in 64 odds are also fairly simple to obtain. So long as you have a Shiny Ditto, any Pokemon that can breed with Ditto will create eggs with 1 in 64 odds. Now, getting a Shiny Ditto in Generation 2 isn't exactly easy. In Gen 2, it can only be found in 2 routes with a 5 and 4% spawn chance, so phasing could be a potential issue. But what if I told you there was a much easier way to get a Shiny Ditto with 0 third-party tools, no hacking, and can be done with all original hardware and games? All it involves is some classic Gen 1 glitchiness. Yes, I said Gen 1. Over to Tom in the real world to explain.
So in order to get this glitched, weird method of getting a Shiny Ditto, there's a couple of things you'll need first. You need a Gen 2 game, obviously we're using my copy of Crystal. You need a Gen 1 game, I'm using a copy of Yellow with a completed save file that I've downloaded offline because I'm not really a big Gen 1 fan, but you will need a completed save or at least a pretty far save. You also need 2 consoles to trade stuff with and obviously a link trade cable. I'm obviously demonstrating this with physical consoles and physical games, but you can also do this via the Gen 1 and Gen 2 games on the Virtual Console on the 3DS if you have them, because they're no longer available to purchase, but there are obviously other ways to get them. So the first thing you're going to want to do on your Gen 2 game is go and catch the red Gyarados at the Lake of Rage, which I have already done.
Oh my god! Shiny Gyarados! Ah!
And in your Gen 1 game, you'll want to go and buy a Pokédoll and then go to the Mimic Girl, I think that's the name, the Mimic Girl, and trade the Pokédoll for the Mimic TM. Also on the Gen 2 game, you'll have to go to the move deleter to delete most of the red Gyarados' moves. I couldn't actually get there yet because I have to do the next gym, but I don't want to do it yet because obviously it's part of the badge quest. So I did use a third-party tool to remove Gyarados' moves other than Bite, but that's all I did. Also, just for people who are interested in the badge quest, I have taken the time to evolve Wooper into Quagsire. I also evolved Skiploom into Jumpluff, which I must say is a brilliant shiny sprite. And I also bought a couple of proteins and evolved Tyrogue into Hitmontop. And I also kind of leveled everyone out, so everyone's kind of the same-ish level now. So now everyone's not super under-leveled, I can actually use everyone in battle. Let's get this all going. So I have changed this setup a little bit. My funny playing Game Boy Color was having problems connecting. It wasn't, the cable wasn't working with it, but I've tested it with my SP and it works. So you've got to come over here to the time travel station on your Gen 2 game, and then on your Gen 1 game it's just a normal trade station. So we want to trade our Gyarados. Sandslash, this is just a yellow save, a completed save that I downloaded online. Obviously, because there's no shiny sprites in Gen 1, we are going to watch our Gyarados go from a shiny Gyarados into a non-shiny Gyarados. And Gyarados is now over on yellow. And there he is, non-shiny Gyarados. But the DVs and the numbers that make Gyarados shiny are still present in the Gyarados on this save file now, and that's what is important. Our shiny red Gyarados, and again, these DVs, these stats are what is going to make this thing shiny. They're what make it shiny, basically. And teach our shiny Gyarados Mimic, TM31. Now we need to head to Cinnabar Island, to the Pokemon Mansion, head to the basement so we can encounter a Ditto. Ditto has a 10% chance to spawn here, so I'm just going to run around until we find a Ditto. You want to make sure that your Gyarados is at the front of your party. So yeah, I'm just going to run around now until I find a Ditto. We have a Ditto. So what we want to do is use Mimic, and then we can... So Mimic basically steals, or makes it so that we can use Ditto's moves. And we want to use Transform. So we took the move Transform from Ditto. And now Ditto is going to transform into us. So now we want to transform into Ditto. And basically try and make Ditto transform again. There we go. That's what we wanted. So now, for some reason, that makes it so that the Ditto has copied this Gyarados' DVs, the stats that make it shiny. So now, if we catch this Ditto and send it up to Gen 2, it should be shiny. I'm just going to use the Master Ball, because why not? We're going to call it Glitch. There's our Ditto. Again, this thing should be shiny when we send it up to Gen 2. So there's its stats. So fingers crossed this works. I haven't tested this, I haven't tried this before, so hopefully this just works. So we can see there, Ditto, not shiny on the Gen 1 game. So when it comes out on the Gen 2 game, it should be shiny. Yes! It worked! Oh my god, that is so ridiculous. But we'll go show Ditto off in battle, and then I'm going to get the rest of this, the actual hunt, set up. It's shiny. I mean, obviously it's shiny, it's blue. DVs from Gyarados carried over onto Ditto. Such a bizarre glitch, but yeah, there you go. Also, if I get chance as well, I probably will show off Ditto in Stadium 2 as well, because for this hunt for Cyndaquil, I'm going to be showing all 3 evolutions again, just like I did for Chikorita. So I'll have chance to show off Ditto as well as the other Pokemon that I've evolved off camera. We've got a normal Snubble. And Glitch the shiny Ditto. I wonder if Ditto works similarly like it does in other gens, where when it's shiny, it transforms into the shiny version. So I guess let's see. Oh no, it just gives it a blue palette. I'm going to get the rest of this hunt set up. I'm going to trade. I've already started on the SD card here. I have a dumped ROM and a new save file of Crystal, and I will be picking Cyndaquil on that save file and then trading it over to this copy of Crystal. I'm not going to show that process completely, cut in a quick clip here of me trading that Cyndaquil over from that save file. Camera, please stop losing focus. Yeah, and then I'm probably going to jump over to the Game Boy operator and start this hunt. So I'll see you over there.
Right, we are over here on Crystal. As I mentioned, I'm using my Game Boy operator to play this. So we're going to drop off our Ditto Glitch with the daycare man, and then we're going to go over to his missus over here, and we're going to drop off Cyndaquil, aptly named HLX. If you know what that means, let me know in the comments. So the breeding and egg hatching is pretty slow in Gen 2. Just for transparency's sake, I am going to be using some of the speed up features in the Game Boy operator. You might be able to hear from the music there. I'll be doing it at ×3. I'm not going to make it like ×10 because it just becomes like unplayable. Yeah, I should have stated in the intro, because obviously of Ditto's gender ratio, it means that the odds for this hunt are going to be 1 in 64. They're the best odds you can get for the shiny gene method. And yeah, I'm just going to start off by collecting 100 eggs. I'm not going to be hatching any of them. I'm just going to be collecting 100 eggs, and then I'm going to show you how I plan to make this hunt a bit more efficient, rather than hatching all of them, which would take a very long time, because every egg in Gen 2 takes about 10 to 15 minutes to hatch, and if I'm hatching 100, it's going to take hours. I'm going to get 100 eggs. I will move on to how we're going to check that the egg is shiny before we even hatch it, without using any kind of hacks or glitches, and only using actual tools, I guess you could say, provided by Game Freak Nintendo. It's all official. There's no third-party software. First things first, I'm going to get on my bike. I'm going to turn on the speed up. I won't turn it on yet, just to save your ears. And I'm going to start collecting. Even with the speed up feature, this is probably going to take a couple of hours. But yeah, I'll cut forward to when I've collected 100 eggs, and then we'll see if any of them are shiny. Right, so it's been, I think, around 5 hours. I started hunting at about 2 p.m. or I started collecting eggs at about 2 p.m. It's now 7 p.m. But I have collected 100 eggs. So in the first box there's 14 eggs, because that also has my 5 of my team members in there. Full box of eggs, full box of eggs, full box of eggs, full box of eggs, and then 6 more to make up the 100. So now we're going to jump on over. I need to head over to a Pokemon Center actually, so I might as well make my way there now, because I need to save there. We're going to jump on over to Pokemon Stadium 2, where I'm going to be explaining how we can check if any of the eggs are shiny without even hatching them. Let's head over there and see if we have any. As you can see, I'm actually capturing directly from the N64. I've just got like a cheap AV to HDMI converter. It looks a lot worse on this menu screen than it does in the rest of the game. We come over to the Pokemon Lab with our Gen 2 game inserted into the controller. We can check our PC. I will leave a link in the description to the BlueMoonFalls website, where they have a tool where you can check this. But basically, depending on your trainer ID and the Pokemon that you're trying to breed, if the Pokemon is shiny in the egg will have a different texture. It will have a different coloured texture. Some Pokemon, it's more obvious than some. Again, depending on your trainer ID and the Pokemon, it can range from very obvious to extremely subtle. And unfortunately, all Gen 2 starters, with my trainer ID anyway, are extremely subtle. It is noticeable if you're looking for it. And I feel like if I'm scrolling through the eggs, I should notice it if there is one. Right, so let's go through all 100 of these eggs. I'm going to go through them each one by one. I'm not going to click on every single one of them. I'm just going to use that sprite in the bottom left as a reference. So none of those in the first box look any different to me. To me anyway, I can't see any sort of obvious difference. Second box. Do a fast scroll. Again, I can't see anything that, like... I can't see it changing. Third box. Oh! I think that one's shiny. It is so subtle. I don't know how well that's going to make out, but you can see this top one. So it's this one. It's the 19th egg of the third box. So you can see the top one above it, it's like very pale. The dots are pale. And then this one, the dots are like more red. And then the bottom one, they're pale as well. I wonder if it's like noticeable. So this is this is what I presume to be a non-shiny one. And this is the shiny one. Like, yeah, the dots they're quite pale there. And they're a bit more saturated there. Like, it is so subtle. Box 3, egg 19. I guess we might as well check the rest of them. This is box 4. I can't see a difference in any of them. And then box 5. Oh, hang on. Oh no, that's... No, I don't think that's any different. Oh, I think we've got another one. Yeah, that one's also definitely a different colour. Oh, so we've got potentially 2? Yeah, you can just see it as I scroll through, you can very briefly see it. 11. Box 5, egg 11. And then 6 box. This has only got 6 eggs in it. Doesn't look like any of them are different to me. Right, well, I guess we'll go pick one of these eggs and we'll hatch it and we'll see. Box 2, egg 9. Box 3, egg 19, sorry. Box 3, egg 19. Thing is that I don't know what... Oh, there we go. Right, so that's 20. So it should be this one. I might as well pick up the other one while we're here as well. So that was... So this one should be the shiny one. I really hate how it doesn't like have like a scroll bar or anything. 2 shiny eggs. I am also actually going to grab a normal one just so we can compare them, because why not? Any of these should be normal. It was only the one in there that was shiny, so... Let's get riding. I'm not going to show this full thing. I'll just speed up. I'll either speed up or cut here. But yeah, I'll be back when one of these eggs hatches. Oh. Right, one of them's hatching. Hopefully it's one of the shinies. I guess we'll see. Yeah, I think that's a shiny Cyndaquil. I'm pretty sure that's a shiny Cyndaquil. It's quite hard to tell because of the colours on this capture, and it also, like, the Gen 2 emulation on the N64, like, smooths everything. But I'm pretty sure that's a shiny Cyndaquil. And if it was, then that was 53 eggs. So, under odds, that was the one that was in box 3. I'm going to ask... I'm not going to name it right now, because I'm going to ask my older brother Jamie what he wants to name it, because Cyndaquil is his favourite Pokemon, so... Yeah, it is. That's awesome. That's awesome that that actually works. Right, well, I guess we might as well hatch the other 2. They mustn't be that far from hatching now. Oh. Okay, that didn't take as long as I thought it would. So this is either the second or the third one. So the other shiny or the non-shiny. Yep, that's another shiny one. Nice. So that was the second shiny, so that was 85 eggs. Well, technically, because the first one was a phase, so it was 53 eggs, and then it would have been a second phase, so it was 32 eggs. So both eggs were technically under odds. Within 100 eggs, we got 2 shinies. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the shiny sprites for Cyndaquil in Gen 2, but I did just want to go for all 3 of the starters. I think as the generations progressed, the shiny sprites for Shiny Cyndaquil, the Shiny Cyndaquil line did get a lot better. But in Gen 2, they're not amazing. I still think Totodile is the best one, like, throughout. Here we go, this is our third one. So this one shouldn't be shiny. Yep, that's a normal one. They should all be male. None of them should be female, just because of the gender ratio. So yeah, there you go. There's the shiny one. It's kind of got, like, purple flames. I think it's meant to be kind of brown, but obviously this capture just kind of washes the colour out. I will show it later on my analog pocket or something like that. And then that's a normal one with just the standard red flames. Well, while we're here, we might as well show it off in battle in this horrific... No! Save error. Oh my god. Okay, false alarm, false alarm. I fixed it. Got a normal Rattata. Actually, it doesn't look... Colours don't look too bad. And the shiny Cyndaquil. Yeah, I'm gonna reserve my judgment until I see it on the analog pocket, but it looks cool enough. I do like the purpley flames. Oh, I do have it turned on, but it's only level 5, so it's probably gonna die really easily. Just got a tackle there. Right, well, while we're on the N64, I will show off Cyndaquil in 3D. Right, here he is. Shiny Cyndaquil. And then I've given the computer normal Cyndaquil. Yeah, the shiny one's like kind of got like a pink hue to it. And then obviously it's got the purpley flames. I kind of like the 3D model. The green is like a bit darker as well. I kind of like that. I know that this HDMI converter isn't the best. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Apparently just like the blurriness and the over bloom is just a problem with the N64 unless you get like a proper HDMI conversion, which cannot afford right now, and I don't see the point in investing that sort of money into it. Tackle. Hopefully it doesn't kill, because I do also want to show off Ditto. He's using Leah. Tackle. Boom! Yeah, I do quite like the 3D model of Shiny Cyndaquil. Here comes Glitch, which is now severely over-leveled. It's now level 50 after being in the daycare for so long. Oh, wow. That's a very deep blue compared to, like, what it's supposed to be, like a kind of a pale blue. It's almost like purpley. Look at the profile pic. Yeah, very, very odd. Right, let's see what it's going to transform into. Well, it's obviously going to transform into Cyndaquil, but I want to see what it looks like. Oh, it does become shiny. Okay, that's cool. That's something that the base game doesn't even do. It just, like, gives the Pokemon a blue hue. Mate, Pokemon Stadium 2 was ahead of its time. Right, well, I'll probably just quit out here. And then we will jump over back to the analog pocket, back to a less blurry screen. I'm going to name the Cyndaquil. I've asked my brother what he wants to name it. So we'll name Cyndaquil. We'll show it up on the analog pocket and just see if it looks any different. And then I've got to get grinding.
Gonna go and head to the name rater because my older brother has sent me a name and he wanted me to call it Frangos after the famous takeaway brand Frangos. That Frangos over there on Leeds Road. Frangos. Right, let's do a quick battle. Got a normal Snubble. And Frangos, the shiny Cyndaquil, definitely looks a lot better there than it did on the N64. Right, so yeah, now I'm going to go do some grinding with it and evolve it to Quilava. I'll see you when it's Quilava. Alright, there we go. Frangos is level 14 now. Hey, that looks cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Got a normal Spearow. And shiny Frangos. Look at that Mohican. That looks sick. Okay, I take back what I said about them being a bit underwhelming. I quite like the purple on that. The purple's just a bit more prominent than it was with Cyndaquil. Let's do an Ember. Sick. Let's go and jump into 3D.
This free battle is about to get underway. A hot battle involving the hopeful champs of tomorrow has just started.
There's Frangos. Whoa. Yeah, the purple definitely isn't as distinct as it is in the game. Also, there's Quagsire. I haven't shown him yet. Or her, sorry. Wait, is it him? Yeah, it's him. And so even on the actual TV screen, the Quilava isn't as prominent as it is on the capture. It still looks cool. Quagsire looks pretty cool as well. Pretty pink. Very distinctive pink. But again, the Quilava just kind of has a hue to it, the same way that Cyndaquil did. And the fire isn't, like, super distinctive. Like a distinctive colour change. Whoa. Birds. There he is. There's Frangos. And there's Marimari. with the little beady eyes. Guess we can go for an Ember.
They're ready to go.
Guess the water type. Oh, right, okay, I think Frangos is done for. Oh, he's got a big green mouth. Big green tongue. That's going to be a one-shot. Yep. Well, goodbye, Quilava. But while we're here, I'm going to show off at least one more of my other evolutions that I got round to doing. We'll show Karina off as Shiny Jumpluff. That looks pretty awesome. Just the really pink body. Although it doesn't have like the pink hue to the fluff like it does in the game. The sprite in the actual Crystal game looks really garish, and I really, really like it. This one doesn't look too bad. Lots of pink shinies in this badge quest, I've realised. What a face. Well, Karina might fare a bit more of a chance against Mari. Go for a tackle, I guess.
What now? That did little
Amazing.
What's this? That didn't occur.
Right, now I'm going to evolve Quilava or Frangos into Typhlosion. Then we'll show that off in 3D along with Gaslight, the Hitmontop. And then I guess we'll be going straight for the gym because I have to do the gym before I can do the radio tower.
Come on. There we go. Right at the end of the battle. There we go. He looks sick. The black and the purple and the yellow. Yeah, he looks pretty cool. Frangos evolved into Typhlosion. Got a normal Pidgeotto. And shiny Typhlosion. Frangos the Typhlosion. It's pretty cool. I've liked all the sprites in the game. The 3D wasn't amazing for the previous two. But now let's check the 3D for this man.
It's the final Frangos time.
A hot battle involving the hopeful champs of tomorrow has just started.
He's like, what? That's rubbish. Yeah, we've got shiny Hitmontop as well, which is also kind of underwhelming. What? He's like green. He's not like he looks like he's ill. He's got like a sickly green hue to him, and his fire didn't even look any different.
Eyeing each other warily.
That's rubbish. I mean, Hitmontop looks alright, but it just looks like a desaturated version of the normal colours. It doesn't have like the silver skin or the like purpley pants. An underwhelming final evolution for Frangos. I won't dwell on it too much longer. Let's just do a move. Flame wheel.
Demands are made. What's the opening gambit?
Yeah, the fire. Yeah,
That was good.
fire just looks barely any different. Going for a rapid spin.
The hit glanced right off.
Yeah, he just looks ill.
White hot battle continues.
Right, well, that's all the 3D models shown off. I don't really have anything to do in the story. I was already at the next gym last episode. Yeah, let's just get the gym done. Let's get this 7th badge done. And then the final quest is probably going to be the longest in terms of story and hunting, but we'll deal with that when we come to it. Yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's get this gym done. It was time to take on the 7th gym, this time taking on Price in his Ice Fiend gym. So the shiny I got this episode was actually useful. I also struggled more than I should have done on this ice puzzle. Like I said, having Typhlosion aka Frangos to take on this gym just made it an absolute cakewalk. just melting through everything in our path. I did find it funny though how his seal ended up giving me more trouble than his ace Piloswine. Well peeps, we are drawing close to the end of the Crystal Badge Quest. We've only got one badge left to go, and I already know that this next hunt and video is going to be very involved, so it might be a while before that comes out. Hope people enjoyed this different style of badge quest video though. I knew this hunt was going to be really quick, so I didn't think doing the vlog style video would really work, but I think that the setup and the showcase for this method alone was interesting enough, at least I hope. Also no, I'm not going to tease the final hunt for this quest, because the last time I did that on the sword quest, I ended up changing the target for the final hunt. But yeah, the quest is nearly done. Feels like we kind of speed ran this one, to be honest. Well, thanks very much for watching peeps. If you enjoyed the video and you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button, and let me know in the comments what's the weirdest glitch that you've ever encountered in a Pokemon game. And if you would like to support the channel directly, consider becoming a channel member like these lovely people on screen right now. It's only $1.99 a month and you get some benefits like emotes, shoutouts and early video releases. Right, I'm off to start this next and final hunt for this quest, which I've been dreading, because guess what? It's soft resets again. Oh joy. Well, I'll see you on the other side, gamers. Bye-byes.
Godzillasaurus.